Hello and welcome to Late to the Party. This is a special bonus episode for Valentine's Day where I'm joined by Emily, my producer and friend. Hello, Emily.
Hi.
We're going to talk about Valentine's Day and we're going to answer some dilemmas that people have submitted. Do you like Valentine's Day?
I'm a big fan of Valentine's Day.
Why?
I think maybe it's a bit controversial. I think people are like, oh, I hate Valentine's Day. I just really like romance.
That's nice.
And I think I've been dumped on Valentine's Day. I've had some really bad Valentine's Days that maybe should have scarred me. But I just really like it. Like my favourite thing is seeing men on the street holding flowers. When
really,
I see
we are
that,
so different.
I'm like, great.
That makes me feel quite not sick isn't the word, but when I see on one day of the year men walking around with flowers, I just think, I bet you're fucking shit every other day.
Oh,
I feel like
100%.
you're overcompensating on this day and it's performative and it gives me the ick, to be honest. But I will say I once had a boyfriend once upon a time, and on Valentine's Day he got me, I was so angry with him. He got me oven mitts and an apron and cooking stuff as a joke to be like, you should be a
Get in the
boy.
kitchen. Yeah.
And I was just so angry and didn't see the humour in it. Of course. He'd also bought it all from Pound Stretcher. So I was like, you could have at least gone to Waitrose or John Lewis and bought a nice oven mitt, but you've gone to the pound shop and bought me a cheap fucking oven mitt.
Yeah. Fair.
Anyway, but I feel like one of the things that happens at Valentine's Day, because obviously I talk about relationships so much and I've done lots of Valentine's shows, is that people feel really stressed about where they're at, and Valentine's Day feels like this sort of, it puts your relationship or your singleness or whatever your situation is on blast, reminds you of what you do or don't have, might make you feel really shit, which is why I wanted to answer some questions and talk about all of these things that happen to people. Should we start?
Yeah, let's do it. Okay, so our first one. In love with my partner of 10 years, but want to fuck other people between now and dying. Which I think, it's fair enough. It's a daunting feeling to be like, I'm never going to fuck someone else.
In love with my partner, but want to fuck someone else between now and dying.
Yeah.
When are you dying? First of all, that's my first question. Seems imminent. Although we are all about to die. So I hate to break that to you. You should fuck someone else. I think that we have such a stupid view to monogamy, and it's so interesting. I've been reading a lot about polyamory and I've dated men who are polyamorous, blah 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 blah, and I do like the fact that in slightly more open relationships you are allowed to say I don't want to just have sex with you for the rest of my life, which is completely understandable. If I was with someone and they said I would happily for the rest of my life only have sex with you, I would think they were lying, to be honest. And so I think you should fuck other people. You should open up your relationship between now and dying for periods, and then you can close it again. But if you want to have sex with other people, you should do that.
Yeah. And I think it's if you want that, you can work on that as a couple. If your partner feels like they're happy with that, then maybe you're not compatible.
I read something recently about an open relationship and it really made me think, because it was about a heterosexual couple who had never really considered that, but then they loved each other, but their sex had gotten stale. And I think that people have a lot of shame in society of if you've stopped having sex, or if sex does change as you've been with someone for longer and more and more time. People feel scared to admit that, and that's why now I think it should be more normal to say, oh, I don't know, should we have a threesome, or should we go to a sex party, or see maybe what works. And if your partner doesn't want to do that, then that is fair enough. That shouldn't be forced upon anyone at all. Some people also really don't care. Some people don't have the same sex drive, so they don't care. But I think being able to say to your partner, between now and dying, I want to have some other experiences, and could we try different things?
Yeah, I think communication.
Met someone 7 weeks ago, have been smitten since. when is it acceptable to say I love you? Oh, I don't know, because I feel like I have said I love you way sooner than 7 weeks before. But then I think about that scene in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days when the woman's like, the friend character's like, I told him I loved him on our first date, and they're like, what the fuck? I mean, I think sometimes you can fall in love like really quickly, and you can know you love someone that quickly. So for me, saying I love you, maybe you don't need to overthink it that much. I mean, 7 weeks for me is an acceptable amount of time to tell someone that I love them.
I mean, it's like, it's almost 2 months. And I mean, I think
that's
like,
a long time.
Maybe like, if you know, you know. Also, like, don't take advice from like those early noughties rom-coms, because they taught us a lot of terrible things.
Was true, because you should never say you love someone the first night you've met them.
Oh,
I think that much crazy. Is true. I mean, I've said I love you like by accident a lot. Like I have said I love you when I come, like with people that I've just met.
But surely like they know.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I feel like
such an ego boost for them.
Yeah, I think sometimes I get so overwhelmed when I have an orgasm. And I mean, when I always say to Anna, when I have sex, like when I've had sex with someone, she'll be like, "How was it?" I'll say, "It's the kind of sex where I was trying really hard not to say I love you."
Well, it's also like, I think maybe, I don't know, when we were talking the other day about like, when you're anxious and you're in a situation where you know you can't say anything, it's one of those things like where you just want to say it because you know you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh my God, I shouldn't say this. But you're hyperfixating on it.
If you've like gone from, say, it's like, for example, when you break up with someone and then you get with someone like for the first time and you've been in a long relationship before that. So you're used to being with someone who you can say all kinds of shit with, like when you're having sex, and then you get with someone else and then you forget that person like isn't the same person, and so then you forget that you haven't known this person for years and like lived with this person. Do you know what I mean? And then you say I love you, and then suddenly the cat's out of the bag, and you said I love you.
Yeah.
But I think 7 weeks. I mean, I definitely have told men, yes, like genuinely, like not because I'm having an orgasm. I've told men like within 2 months I like am in love with them.
Yeah, and I think if they react badly, maybe they weren't for you.
The thing about telling someone you love them, it's a bit like I don't know, like lighting a fuse. It's like you should know if they're going to say it back.
100%.
If you completely get it wrong, then you were missing.
You're in Delulu land.
So if you said I love you and they're like, what the hell, I don't even know your name, then like, yeah, you weren't picking up on the
cues.
Okay, if you told someone that you loved them, and they didn't say it back, would that be game over for you? I don't think personally for me it would.
I don't know. I don't think it would be, and I don't think it should be. But like context matters. So like if they were like, oh, sorry, I can't say that right now.
Can't say that right now. I've got a dentist appointment. Like, I'm
afraid I'm gonna have to get back to you in 5 to 10 business days.
Yeah.
But I think if they're like, oh, and it's like a bit like that, a bit like they've clearly like got the ick from that.
Yeah, I think exactly. I think so. Look, some people are really bad with like displays of emotion and like saying I love you. It's like some men, if we're talking about hetero men, some men like never tell their friends they love each other, so that it takes them longer, whatever. Whereas I'm like, honestly, tell my corner shop man that I love him. So I just don't. So I understand sometimes if I'm like really like forward with a man emotionally, sometimes it takes them a bit longer, or maybe they hate me.
We'll never know.
But to be fair, like men always like actually tell me that they love me. If I'm being honest,
just be honest.
And that
it's best to be honest.
That's just not debatable. No, we're not debating that. We're not debating that. Men always are in love with me.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I've seen them.
Yeah, they're crazy.
I hate my 2 best friends' boyfriends. They treat them like shit, but they are in denial. Help.
Okay, so there are a few things to this. The issue with telling someone that you don't like their boyfriend is that you might push them away. And if you are worried about your friend not being in a healthy relationship, that's something you don't want to risk. The other issue is that if you withdraw from them, they might not have like as many people to talk to about the relationship. But I also understand that when your friend is with someone who's a prick, it's like Bad Sisters. Like in Bad Sisters, it's like it's so hard to just sit there and like tolerate that.
Yeah.
But my best advice would be probably, unless you can do it really diplomatically and your friend will take it well, I wouldn't come and say like, I hate your boyfriend, because often that creates so much more problems. I would probably say try and just be there for them, avoid hanging out with that person too much, don't indulge in talking about the man as much as like you would if you liked them, and hopefully they break up.
Yeah, you just have to kind of hope they break up. And you know, if it's like really bad, a really bad sort of like
poison them,
you could poison them.
You could stitch him up.
Yeah,
murder.
yeah. You know those old shows that used to do like honey traps, where it's like you get a man in a room with like a really hot woman who's coming onto them. You could do a setup like that.
Break them up. Let's
them
get real
up.
Amanda Bynes. She's the man.
Yeah, or you could parent trap, reverse parent trap.
Yeah. Break them up.
You could.
So they don't become parents.
All
That's
right.
the best cucumber I've ever had in my life.
Yeah. Dealing with suddenly being the only single friend in a group that's always been single friends. What do I do?
Go and find single friends.
Yeah.
Like
there's other single friends out there.
I have so many amazing single friends. And being single has helped me make some of the most amazing friends as well.
Yeah.
Because when you're single, you can like bond with people about being single.
Yeah.
So go and make new friends. Those friends in relationships will always be there. I have a group of friends, our friendship group, who are most of whom are in relationships, and we're all still really close. But I also have like a massive need for my single friends.
Yeah. And I also think like if you're looking for a relationship, or your friends have just got into relationships, surely they've got mates.
That it never works like that.
Really?
Well, I've never been set up by any of my friends' boyfriends. I know all of your boyfriend's friends as well.
Yeah, and you just don't want to be with them.
I don't want to be with any of them, no. If you want to be in a relationship, ask your friends' new boyfriends or partners to find you someone and set you up on dates. But I also do think like if you're single, you need to have a single group of friends, and you can come to one of my shows and you will find in a mass single girls.
Okay, next one. My husband might be gay. What would you do? I think
I would be over the moon.
No, literally.
I would rejoice. I would love a gay husband. Honestly, I mean, if my husband was gay, I would rejoice, because I'd be like, amazing, another best friend.
Another ally.
But I think you should try and talk to him and see if he is gay, and see if that is his truth. And if that is his truth, then you'll have to navigate that. It won't be the easiest process. But it's not about you. And I always think like with people who I'm as hard as it is for the other person, I'm always just happy to hear about people like coming out and like being honest about what they want and who they are, because I feel like that's a very brave thing to do. But obviously would be a mindfuck if it was you.
Okay, this one's crazy. And as a fellow contact lens wearer, this one's boggling my mind. How to stop contacts falling out of my crustiest fuck eyes when giving a blowjob. It's happened 3 times. My advice would be maybe close your eyes, and 2, maybe swap out your contact lenses more regularly.
I don't wear contact lenses, but like, why are your eyes so crusty? First of all, why are your eyes so crusty? Why are they open? And why don't you take them out before you give head?
Yeah, if anything,
my question.
That might be a bit nicer. A bit of blur.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this sort of sounds like you need to sort out like your process with contact lenses, to be honest. Maybe you need to change them more regularly. And maybe you shouldn't be giving head when you've got crusty eyes, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Although I will say, when someone comes in your eye, that is one of the most painful things I've ever experienced in my life. And I've broken bones. I've fallen from like 5-story buildings, haven't I?
Yeah.
Having come in directly onto my eye. And the one thing I would think is, when you're giving head with contact lenses in, does the contact lens protect it?
It will protect it. Not that I've ever experienced this, but when like when I have contact lenses in, I don't cry when I'm cutting onions. I don't cry when I get smoke in my eye.
Maybe it's a barrier from cum.
Yeah, so.
Because what I will say is the only time I've ever had crusty eyes in my life was when someone came in my eyes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Because it's like swimming goggles, basically. Like, I feel like sometimes I should give head with swimming goggles on because it's so traumatizing. I don't know why it happens to me all the time. I think it's because, like, sometimes men do it on purpose. Like, actually.
But maybe you're withdrawing at the wrong time.
I don't know about that. Like, I remember it once happened to me and I was like, very much, it was not meant to be coming out of my, wasn't coming out of my mouth, and then it came out of my mouth, and then suddenly it was in my eye, and then I thought I was going to lose my vision in one eye. I was like, I'm going to go blind because I couldn't open my eye. And then I couldn't open it for like 2 days.
Yeah,
I had to go and see my parents. I had to go and see my parents, and I couldn't open my eye.
And did they ask you why, and what did you say?
I said, a guy came in my fucking eye in Paris, Dad. How do you feel about that? Fucking, that's what you'll learn, to not ask me questions.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid questions.
Think
like that.
about it before you open your little mouth.
So yeah, maybe contact lenses are the way forward for cum in the eye. But girl, change your fucking contact lenses.
Change your contact lenses. Close your eyes. Take them out. Okay, so if you're really into a friend but not getting any vibes from them, would you tell them anyway?
If you're really
into them but they're not giving you any vibes.
Back to myself. Sorry. If you're really into a friend and they're not giving you any vibes, would you say something? No.
But what if there's a burning desire?
I mean, if you feel like, the thing is, if you want to get with one of your friends and you don't think they want to get back with you, you have this risk of losing them as a friend. If you say that, like, that's the problem. So if you think it could be reciprocal, then maybe I would say tell them. But one of my biggest lessons from my 20s was just don't fucking get with your friends.
Yeah, that is true.
It ruins everything.
It ruins a lot of things.
Yeah. So I would say don't tell them. I don't know. Obviously, live your truth. If you feel like you can't be around them without telling them because you have this burning desire to tell them that you like them and want to get with them, then you also have to do that if you can't like exist around them without doing it. But weigh up the consequences, because if you would rather not lose them like as a friend, then maybe don't do it.
Yeah, I guess it's about priorities. But to play sort of like devil's advocate, or like Cupid, if you will. Some men, if this is a girl to man situation, some men, like, you really couldn't tell if they like you or not. Sometimes you really don't know what's going on in their head. So maybe do just tell them. And, you know, no regrets.
Yeah. I guess if it is a man, but I don't know about that, to be honest, because not to be like really, really like simplistic, but I think if a man wants to get with you, they will.
Well, men are simple, but maybe they haven't even thought about you in that way.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know.
And then they're like, oh, I could.
I don't know. To play devil's advocate, it's always been my male friends who have like tried to get with me, and I've been like, I don't think this is a good idea. I think this is a bad idea, and then it always goes the way that I always predict it will go. So I don't know, but it might not be. It might be a girl. So
yeah, it's true. We can't come to conclusions.
Someone has said, is it a waste of time to have casual sex when you're almost 30 and female?
The almost is killing me.
First of all, fuck off.
Truly.
30 is young. Female, I'm not sure. I feel like this is being written by an Andrew Tate fan.
If you say
only
female,
Andrew
you
Tate
need to
fans say female.
Reassess your life.
Female, I hate that you said that. Is it a waste of time to have casual sex when you're almost 30 and female? No. I feel like whoever asked me this is my new enemy. Having casual sex, first of all, like, you should be allowed to do it whenever you want, if you want to. We have this ridiculous pressure where as soon as you turn 30, everybody's like, oh my God, I have to have a baby. It's like, I feel so far away from wanting to have a baby at 30 years old. So it's not a waste of time. I also think having casual sex sometimes, not everybody like should have casual sex. It doesn't suit everyone. But sometimes it is a really good way of like becoming more familiar with like what you like and having like no inhibitions, because sometimes having sex with someone you don't like is kind of freeing because you're not thinking about things in the way you do if you've like really romanticized someone. So I think there are like perks to having casual sex, and fuck you for your fucking ageist incel terminology. I feel deeply offended by that. I love casual sex. Why have I gotten so upset?
And it's not that you're just almost 30, you are 30.
I am 30. No, I just feel I hate the fact that what happens in when you turn 30 is that suddenly, and I've seen it with so many of my friends, suddenly like there's this internalized clock of, oh my God, am I wasting my time by being single? And it's like, no, I'd much rather be happy, single and free than unhappy and locked into a relationship that I don't want to be in.
Yeah, I mean, you can be single and wasting your time. You can be in a relationship and wasting your time.
Yeah, I think the main thing is like do what feels right. But I hate the idea that we like when we turn 30 and are female, we have to suddenly like settle down. I don't like that.
No, it's ridiculous.
Somebody has said this.
Go on.
Okay. He became obsessed with ghosts and Ouija boards, and he told me, quote unquote, the spirits say we have to break up. One night we did it together and the lights flickered and the board spelt Leave, leave. The next day,
chills.
The next day, my stuff was outside with a note saying the spirits warned me, do not contact me again. Can I just say,
Go on.
I am obsessed with this man.
So am I.
I'm obsessed with this man, and he is my hero, and that is a genius way to get out of a relationship.
100%.
Do you believe in Ouija boards?
I had an experience with a Ouija board that was very, very real to me. Me and our friends, Ella and Harriet, her mum sort of like was like, oh, let's do it. And we were like big skeptics, like, no way, like, as if, don't believe in this. And the first couple of rounds, she did it with us, and we were like convinced she was the one pushing it around. She left, and we were all still skeptical, and it was just, I've never experienced anything like it. We were all in tears, crying, like not scared. I don't want to say like what we like, the thing that happened, but it was wild.
Wow. So, because I'm just thinking, if you are in touch with the spirits, you could summon the spirits and say, and if the spirits like you could say, I need to get out of this relationship. Could you come in as the like escape clause here and say leave on the Ouija board?
But on the other flip side, he could have 100% been pushing it around.
But how?
So it's like so you have like a glass or something in the middle, and then in a circle there's like A, B, C, D, da, da, da. And then you both put your hands on it, whoever's in the circle, and then you ask the spirit a question, whatever, and it will go to the letter. So he could have been pushing it to LEAV.
Oh, I see. Well, if he was pushing it, that's an amazing way to get out of a relationship, to be honest. I'm sorry that happened to you, and I'm sorry that he left your stuff outside with a note saying the spirits warned me, do not contact me again.
But you can't
ghosts. Fight the spirits.
No.
Yeah. And I also believe in energy. And like
100%.
I believe that I have angels following me around.
Yeah. And your angel, if you did a Ouija board with them,
they would say, leave this podcast.
Get out right now.
Stop recording and eat another cucumber.
Yes, I've got a cucumber girl.
Okay. That is our Valentine's episode of the podcast. If you are spending Valentine's Day in a relationship, have a nice time with your partner. If you're single this Valentine's Day, don't honestly put any stress on it. Valentine's Day is a capitalist corporate machine that was created to make us spend money and feel shit about whatever situation we're in. And so please don't let it get to you. Have a nice Friday. Go to the pub. And thank you, Emily, for joining me.
No worries.